Here are the major parts of a land, jack-up, platform, or submersible rig's blowout prevention equipment. The blowout preventer, or BOP stack. The driller's BOP control panel. The operating unit accumulator. The choke manifold. The choke control panel. The mud gas separator. The flare line and flare pit. The trip tank. And drill string valves. From this BOP control panel, the driller opens and closes, or controls, the blowout preventers and the line to the choke manifold. Rig builders usually place the control panel on the rig floor, close to the driller's position. Levers and switches allow the driller to quickly open and close the preventers and other valves in the system. The accumulator bottles store or accumulate hydraulic fluid under very high pressure, up to 3,000 psi, over 20,000 kilopascals. This high-pressure fluid ensures that the preventers close very fast. The BOP operating unit accumulator is installed some distance from the rig floor. The driller activates the BOP operating unit. It pumps the hydraulic fluid through the high-pressure pipes or lines into the BOP stack. The hydraulic pressure opens or closes the preventers. Usually, the driller operates the accumulator from the control panel on the rig floor. In an emergency, however, crew members can operate the BOPs by using the control valves on the accumulator itself. Here's a choke manifold. Flow gets to it from the BOP stack via a choke line. The manifold usually has 2 or more special valves in it called chokes. Usually well flow goes through only one of the chokes. The others are backups, or used under special conditions. By adjusting the size of the opening in the choke, making the opening larger or smaller, the driller adjusts the amount of flow through the choke. The smaller the opening, the less flow. The larger the opening, the more flow. The less flow, the more back pressure on the well. The more flow, the less back pressure on the well. This adjustment of back pressure keeps the pressure on the bottom of the hole constant, so that no more kick fluids can enter the well. The driller or another crew member uses the choke control panel to adjust the size of the choke's opening as kick fluids flow through it. By watching the pressure on the drill pipe and casing, and by keeping the mud pump at a constant speed, the choke operator can adjust the choke to keep the pressure on the bottom of the hole constant. The choke operator must keep the bottom hole pressure constant to successfully control and circulate a kick out of the hole. Often, kick fluids and mud from the choke manifold go through a line to a mud gas separator. Frequently, formation gas is the main part of a kick. However, kick fluids may also contain water, oil, or a combination of these fluids. In any case, the mud gas separator removes the gas from the mud. With the gas removed, the pump circulates gas-free mud into the mud tanks and back down the hole. The separated gas goes to a flare line. In the separator, mud with gas in it from the choke manifold enters the top and falls over several baffle plates. The gas breaks out of the mud as it falls over the baffle plates and goes into the flare line. The gas-free mud falls to the bottom outlet, where it goes to the mud tanks for circulation downhole. The flare line conducts gas from the mud gas separator to a flare pit on land rigs. The gas is burned or flared at the flare pit. Notice that the flare line outlet is a good distance away from the rig floor, so even while gas is flaring, the crew can still safely work on the rig floor. Offshore, where there's no flare pit, the flare line conducts the gas over the side of the rig. The line runs over the water, a safe distance away from the rig. A trip tank is a special mud tank. It is used when they pull drill string from the hole. For example, to change out a dull bit. They also use a trip tank when they run drill string back into the hole. Pulling the drill string and running it back in is called a trip, which is why they call this small tank a trip tank. They use it to keep accurate track of how much mud the drill string displaces in the hole. When the crew pulls drill string from the hole, the mud level in the hole drops. If they let the mud level drop too far, it won't exert enough pressure to keep formation fluids from entering the hole. So, as the crew pulls pipe, they continually circulate fluid from the trip tank to replace the drill string and keep the hole full. They also watch for unusual changes, and they make sure that the volume of mud they put in exactly replaces the volume occupied by the drill string. Since the volumes are small, the level of mud in the trip tank is calibrated in small increments, such as stands of pipe, or barrels, or liters of mud, or both. If the volume they put in is less than the volume occupied by the drill string they removed, then it's likely that formation fluids have entered the hole. For example, let's say the crew pulls one stand of drill pipe. In this instance, the stand displaces 0.7 barrels, or 111 liters. Therefore, they should pump 0.7 barrels, or 111 liters of mud to replace the stand. The mud level in the trip tank should show a drop of 0.7 barrels, or 111 liters. If the level in the tank shows less, then formation fluids have entered the hole, and the crew must take steps to control the well. Subsea BOP equipment is similar to a surface stack. There are, however, some very important differences. This section discusses these differences. Subsea stacks attach to the wellhead on the sea floor. Meanwhile, The rig floats on the water, hundreds or thousands of feet or meters above. Major parts include the subsea BOP stack. This is a lot like a surface BOP stack. Other parts are different, however. Here's the flexible or ball joint. The marine riser with the choke line and kill line. Guide lines. The telescopic joint with riser tensioners. The hose bundle. And 2 control pods. The driller controls the subsea BOP valves from an electric BOP control panel on the rig. The subsea hose bundle carries the control signals and the hydraulic fluid from the rig down to the control pod and selected subsea BOP valves. Marine riser pipe is special pipe and fittings. It seals between the top of the subsea BOP stack and the drilling equipment located on the floating rig. Crew members run the drill string into the hole inside the riser pipe. The riser pipe also conducts drilling fluid up to the rig. Manufacturers attach 2 smaller pipes, called the choke and kill lines, to the outside. Crew members use them to control the well during a kick or special operations. Guide lines guide and help position equipment such as the BOP stack to ocean floor. The flexible joint cuts down on bending stresses on the riser pipe and BOP. The telescopic joint compensates for the vertical motion of the floating rig. Crew members also attach the riser tensioning system to it. Riser tensioner lines support the long riser pipe. The riser and guide line tensioners put constant tension on the riser pipe and guide lines. This tension suspends the riser pipe. It also compensates for the movement of the rig caused by wave action. Riser tensioner systems usually range in capacity from over 300,000 to almost 1 million pounds. That is 135,000 to over 455,000 kilograms, with 50 feet or 15 meters of wireline travel. They utilize up to 12 compression-loaded tensioners that use air pressure for compensation. Drill string valves stop fluids from flowing up the drill string. Often, if the well kicks with a bit off bottom, formation fluids flow up the annulus and up the drill string. Crew members close the drill string valves to stop the flow in the string. If the Kelly is made up, they can close the upper or lower Kelly cock. If the Kelly is not made up, then they can install a full opening safety valve in the top of the drill string. An inside blowout preventer, or IBOP, is a one-way valve, a check valve they can install in the drill string. One type of IBOP is a float valve that is sometimes made up in the drill string near the bit. It prevents backflow up the drill string. Another type of IBOP is the drop-in valve, or DIV. It's dropped into the drill string and falls to a special landing sub that is usually located near the top drill collar in the drill stem. It allows the driller to pump mud down the string, but the check valve will not allow influx fluid to flow up the string. Another type of inside BOP is the heavy-duty check valve, or gray-type valve after one company that makes it. It's a plunger check valve that crews stab in the drill pipe at the surface. It's usually used during stripping operations. Stripping is when the crew lowers the pipe in the hole while the BOPs are closed and under pressure. An upper Kelly cock is located above the Kelly. The upper Kelly cock normally serves as a backup to the lower Kelly cock. If the lower Kelly cock failed, crew members would use a special operating wrench to close the upper Kelly cock. The closed upper Kelly cock prevents further flow. It protects the equipment above the Kelly from high pressure flow. Usually, crew members close the lower Kelly cock if a kick puts risk on equipment above the Kelly. They make it up in the bottom of the Kelly. A crew member uses a special operating wrench to close it. The crew can also close the lower Kelly cock to keep mud from falling out of the Kelly when they break out the Kelly to make a connection. A cock is another name for a valve. Cock is short for weathered cock, which is an English term for valve. Full opening safety valve. If the Kelly is not made up in the drill string and flow occurs, crew members can insert the safety valve in the drill string. This procedure is called stabbing. A full opening valve has as large an inside opening as possible. When fully open, flow from the drill pipe passes through the valve with no additional restriction. This relatively large opening allows the crew to stab the valve against pressure coming out of the drill string. The crew picks up the safety valve by its lifting handles. They make sure it is fully open and stab it into the drill pipe. Then, they screw it into the pipe. Finally, they use a special operating wrench to close the valve and shut off flow. Drillers should make sure the rig has the right crossover subs handy on the rig floor. Crew members should be able to make up the safety valve in any drill string member coming out of the rotary. For example, if a drill collar is in the rotary, the safety valve's threads may not match the drill collar's threads. They will need the right crossover sub to make it work. Float valves also prevent flow up the drill string. Crew members place a float valve in a sub, a special drill string fitting, just above the bit. One type allows mud to be pumped down, but shuts against upward flow. Under normal conditions, pump pressure moves drilling mud through the open one-way valve. An influx of formation fluids from below causes the float valve to close. This prevents further flow up the drill string.